Namaskar, friends. Today is being 8th International Yoga Day, and I'm very pleased to give you a comprehensive picture of health. See, we are thinking yoga is very good, exercise is very good. Are we doing all the parameters which are required to be healthy? So let's quickly look at it. What are all those things? Number one, lack of hydration. Lack of hydration can lead to health problems. Poor gut health. We will see what is poor gut health. See, whatever food we eat, it should be properly digested and properly absorbed, properly assimilated, and properly eliminated. That's how it is. Your gut health depends on that. Inflammatory foods. Somebody is taking the processed foods, high carb foods, cool drinks, ice creams, and all that. It is bound to impair the health. Lack of nutritious food. One side we are taking all the foods which are not good for the health. Are we taking the right nutritious food? What is nutritious food, friends? Nutritious food is the one which is not cooked. Moment you cook anything, it loses certain enzymes and vitamins and all that. So are we taking any nutritious food? Then insulin resistance. We will talk briefly about this. What is insulin resistance? What is insulin sensitivity? What is good for health? We will look at it. Lack of exercise. Everybody know. Today being yoga day, I'm sure that people pay attention the importance of exercise, yoga, and all. And the lack of 7 hours night sleep is an essential, component for the health, friends. Sleeping night as per the circadian rhythm is very, very important. Mind management. So you have to manage your mind. How do we manage mind? We should not be reacting and we should not have all those sort of negative emotions. How do we do that? You have to learn. You have to put efforts. You have to invest time. Then chronic stress. We know, friends, stress is good, but chronic stress on a long term is going to impair the health. And D and B12 vitamin deficiency. I've seen of late, I've reviewed more than 200 reports in the last couple of years, and I've seen majority of the population are deficient in D vitamin and B12. That too adequacy. See, the lab parameters are little erroneous, and we need to have those in adequacy. We will see what are those things, friends. And if these 11 things, if over a period of time it is happening, what it can cause in the body chronic inflammation in the body, and then hormonal imbalance. You will have a totally disordered mechanism in the system because of these 11 parameters. So which will lead to lifestyle disorders. What are the lifestyle disorders, friends? Obesity, pre-diabetes, diabetes, fatty liver, hypertension, PCOS, and various things. Now let's look at briefly. Right. Now this gut health. Constipation is the mother of most of the diseases. See, what is constipation means you are not able to pass the stools easily and you have gas and one has the, bloated stomach, discomfort, no appetite. All these things are caused gut health. So how many times you're eating in a day? Most of the people eat at least 3 times minimum, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and some of them keep taking coffee, tea, and snacks and all that. But there are about 5 to 6 times people are eating, and at the same time they are going to stools at least once in a day. Even once in a day also people don't go. That's a bad situation. So minimum 2 times bowel movement is very important, because friends, look at this large intestine. Look at this large intestine is this big, and it can hold almost 7 kilograms of excretion. So if you are not passing the stools at least twice a day, there will be always a residue. There will always be a thing which is being absorbed in the body, which will lead to a lot of toxins absorption and all that. Right. So look at it. When two bowel movements are from somebody is going in the morning itself, look at this. Whole area is empty, and this area is empty. Only this area is there. So whereas look at a person, if he is not passing the stools regularly, at least twice in a day, look at how it got deformed. All the health problems start from this unhealthy gut, friends. And we are talking about insulin resistance. What is insulin resistance, friends? So this is basically calculated with fasting sugar and fasting insulin. Sugar is multiplied by fasting insulin divided by 405. The value should be below 1.5. Anything higher is called insulin resistance, and it keeps on adding. Friends, people have more than 1.5 to almost 10, 12 also. So whenever there is the insulin resistance, what all the health problems it can create? This is the root cause of all the health problems, friends. Unfortunately, people are not measuring their insulin resistance and they're not acting on that. So now look at what all it can happen. It can lead to diabetes, it can lead to fatty liver, it can to heart problem, dementia, stroke, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and all that. Now, here I would like to explain to you, friend, what is insulin sensitivity? What is insulin resistance? Where are you? What is insulin sensitivity means health span, it's good health. You are bound to have good health. Now, how do we check this? See, fasting insulin should be in the range of 3 to 5 units here, and anything above 6 is called insulin resistance. Fasting sugar should be below 99 milligrams per deciliter, and then if you calculate this, the insulin resistance sensitivity would be below 1.5. And A1C is 5.6%, friends. If anybody has high sugar and high insulin, what happens is their insulin resistance keeps on increasing. Once the insulin resistance keeps on increasing, then they're bound to get fatty liver, obesity, the pre-diabetics, diabetics, and all that. Look at HbA1c is 5.7%. If you are in this condition, that means you are increasing your sick span. You are bound to be unhealthy, if not today, next few years. We need to be in this category, friends. Let's look at these 11 key health parameters, friends. See, if anybody is keeping track of these 11 key health parameters, I'm sure their by and large their biochemistry will be all right. Fasting insulin should be 3 to 5. Fasting sugar below 99. A1C should be below 5.6%. Lipid profile. This is the triglycerides to HDL ratio, friends. Triglycerides is a bad stuff in your blood. HDL is a good stuff. So we are checking what is the ratio. So this should be 1 to 1.5. D vitamin. D vitamin also is very essential, friends. Lab says 30 to 100 is okay, but it is necessary that we have 60 to 80 is a very ideal D vitamin levels. B12, the same way, 500 to 800 is the best way. The range says about 300 to 1000. High sensitive C-reactive protein. This talks about your inflammation in the body, friends. So this should be below zero point 0.1 milligram per liter. So this test also is very essential to check. So these 7 are the blood tests. Then you check your blood pressure. Blood pressure should be 90 by 60 to 120 by 80. That means we should be below 120 by 80, friends. As we discussed about a model, homeostatic model assessment, HOMA-IR we call it, fasting insulin multiplied by fasting sugar divided by 405. So if it is above between 1.5 to 2.9, it is called mild insulin resistance. Moderate insulin 3 to 5. Severe insulin resistance is above 5, friends. So you need to check on that. Height to weight ratio is very important. We know what is the BMI. It should be based on the height to weight. So by and large, what I've seen, friends, in Indian population, even up to 6 feet also, the weight should not be above 75 kg weight, friend. So that means by and large, it should be around 60 to 70 is an ideal weight, depending on the height and male and female. You check the charts are available. Similarly, the waist ratio, friends, height to waist ratio, 5.6 inch percent. That means what? 66 inches. His waist size should not be above 33. It should be below 33, friends. Once you check all these 11 parameters, track them, and then follow the lifestyle changes. Now let's look at, friend, how do we achieve the good health? So we need to create right conditions to enhance your health span. What are the right conditions? We just looked at it. What all can cause the problem? If somebody says I'm doing yoga and she's not doing other things, like if he's not hydrating properly, and if he's not taking right food, it is not going to help. So like physical exercise, somebody says I'm following the diet, so it's necessary that all parameters must be kept in mind, friends, right? So let's look at it. How do we create right conditions to enhance your health span? So drink 1 liter water immediately after waking up in the morning. That should be the first activity one should do. After getting out of the bed, In the morning, preferably try and get up before 6 a.m. and drink 1 liter water and focus on your stomach to go to the bowel movement. No other activity, friends. What happens if you are engaged in any other activity like watching mobile or speaking to your spouse or watching TV, then you will not be able to pass the stool. So you must have the total focus on your stomach. Object is only going for the toilet. So once you finish the toilet, you can go for a brisk walk, whatever activity you want to do, 1 hour at least physical exercise, yoga, you can go gym, games, you can do swimming, whatever you want. Physical activity is a must, friends. 1 hour after the exercise, you come back home. Say, for example, you've gone out at 6:30, 7:30, you come home, take 5-10 minutes rest, relax, then again drink 1 liter water again. And again, focus on your stomach, and you'll be able to go to the second stools, friends. See, if you're able to pass the stools in the morning, and if you're hydrating twice and 2 times bowel movement, believe me, friends, you will be feeling like you are on a top of the world. You'll be on a floating mode, because I've seen people, if they are unable to pass the urine stools in the morning, how discomfort they'll feel. They will not have the appetite. They don't have the mind. Mind also will be clouded and all that. So this approach is a very, very best approach, which Dr. Mantina has been teaching people last 28, 30 years. It's an amazing thing. I've been doing research last 8 years, friends. I find this is one of the best approach, and I really love it. And I'm very passionate to share to people. Pay attention. Pay attention. Now, remember, friends, there is a method to drink water. Don't drink water 20 minutes before eating food, while eating, and until 2 hours after eating. If this alone, if somebody understands this approach, because what happens, friends, when you drink water on an empty stomach, it only requires 20-30 minutes for the water to get absorbed from the stomach, and the stomach will become empty. Suppose you are drank water and you sat for food immediately, then food and water get mixed up and it takes long time. Similarly, while eating, you should not drink water. At least for 2 hours, you should not drink water. Suppose if you got stuck and your throat is stuck and all that, you can have one gulp of water. There's no harm on that. But don't polish off glass after glass. Eat only twice in a day when hungry and maintain the same timings. Look at, friend, this is a very simple approach Dr. Dikshit has been propagating for many, many years. Even Dr. Mantina is telling. And see, after the growth of a person of 20-25 years, he doesn't require 3 times of food, friends, with the current physical activity of the people. So eating 2 times would be good enough. So now the question is that when to eat, what to eat, how much quantity you eat is entirely dependent on you. So depending on your convenience, your office timings, your spouse cooking timings, and your own convenience. But the important thing is you have to follow hunger when you're feeling hungry. So if you're not habituated of this particular approach, few days you keep attempting. Look at it, what time is best. So I would generally prefer to eat around 11:30, because I'm retired, I'm at home, I have the flexibility of time. So look at, friends. The ideal would be if you skip your whatever morning breakfast you're taking, leave it. We don't call it breakfast, lunch, dinner. We say about 2 meal system. So first meal you have between 12 and 1 o'clock. That would be ideal time. And then second meal you have before 7 p.m., 7 or 7:30. So that way, in between, nothing except water, friends. See, nothing in between 2 meals except water. Other than water, anything else one puts in mouth is food. Remember this, friends. Lots of misconception is there. Food means only they think eating rice or chapati. If you take coffee, if you take tea, if you take cool drink, or if you take even coconut water, it is or lemon water with some honey and all that, it is food which requires digestion. So absolutely, it is necessary that you have to avoid eating anything in between 2 meals. If you follow this simple technique, if you don't have any health problems like diabetes, high sugar levels, and all that, this approach is the best. We will see what needs to be done for the people with health issues. Acha, now look at it, friends, for good health. Suppose you are very keen to have a good health. Now, I'm not suggesting what sort of calories you should take, what sort of foods you take. I'm only saying avoid the junk food. Yeah, this point I missed to add this here. So you must avoid processed food and all that. Other than that, you can eat anything. So the second time food, either you can take first time or I mean first meal or second meal. It could be natural food. What is natural food, friends? Natural food is the one which is not cooked, which is not on the stove, which is not on fire. So that will be with a lot of nutritious. You can have some sprouts, you can have fruits. We'll show to you some of these plates so that you can understand what is natural food. Now, what happens, friends, once you finish your first meal after 2 hours and before the second meal, during that time, we finish 1 to 2 liters of water in installments. Only in the morning time, you are taking 1 liter in a bulk quantity to help to have the bowel movement. But afterwards, there is no need. You can have one glass. Suppose you finish your first meal at 12 o'clock. From 2 o'clock onwards, suppose you are having your second meal at 7:30 up to 7 o'clock. In between that time, you can have 1 to 2 liters water. Ideal would be 2 liters, but depends on the weather, your weight, and then conditions, work, and all that. You can decide. 4 liter water is good enough, friend. There's no harm in drinking 4 liters water every day. Now, 7 hours sleep between 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. is an absolutely essential. So people working in the night duties, they have to plan accordingly. And then otherwise 10 to 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., 7 hours night sleep is an absolutely essential. And then you manage your stress, mind management, and all that. Fasting once in a fortnight is a very, very good approach, friends. How do you do the fasting? You can simply stay on water, or you can have some lemon and honey, you can have coconut water, or you can have sugarcane juice. But one day, whole day, you don't take any solids. So this would enhance your immunity and health. Uh, what we are looking at it, friends, gut health. How it is, we are ensuring gut health and we are ensuring insulin sensitivity by this approach. How gut health is achieved? You are taking 2 times 1 liter water, and you are evacuating your bowels completely, and you are eating only when you are hungry, and you are not taking any junk foods. You are not eating in between two meals. That would ensure gut health, friends. How the insulin sensitivity is achieved? Insulin sensitivity is achieved by avoiding these junk foods and eating only twice. So when you're eating only twice, what happens, friends? Balance hours, you are in a fasting mode. That's what people call intermittent fasting. People tell you 8 hours eating window and balance 16 hours is the fasting window. Instead of that, friends, a lot of people tell that in 8 hours eating you know time, people are eating multiple times, so you lose the advantage of this insulin sensitivity, friends. So you don't worry much about that 8 hours eating window and 16 hours fasting. Instead, you stick to 2 hour, two times eating. Suppose I've seen people who are eating at morning 8 o'clock and then evening 8 o'clock. So they are having 12 hours only the fasting mode. Some people are eating at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon and 7 o'clock in the before 7 p.m. before. So all this works as long as you eat only twice. Don't keep on put your complete digestive system in work. Whenever you put food, anything you put in your stomach, in your mouth, other than water, it requires digestion, friends. Just imagine you have a mixie. In a mixie, if you put full jar full of material also, you have to put the switch on, or you put just one spoon, a single spoon also, you have to put the machine on. Then only you can get it grinded. Similarly, except water, anything else you put in your mouth which requires digestion. That means all your organs have to work. Which is, and how many times you are putting switching on, switching off. Suppose from morning to evening, somebody starts with their bed coffee, then breakfast, then before lunch some coffee, tea, lunch, and then snacks, coffee, tea, then evening dinner. So how many times you are putting on and off your digestive system? It's an absolutely incorrect approach. So eating 6 to 7 times a day, which is the biggest problem, and which is the main reason for all the health problems. Most of the corporate companies I've seen, friends, this cafeteria coffee is available free. So people keep on coming and having 4 or 5 times, and snacks are available. It's one of the wrong habit. I keep on telling people, I talk to a lot of corporate companies where they're running the canteens. I said, why are you keeping it here? People are thinking it's first of all available free. They come and just have for time pass, join with friends, some relaxation. All this is absolutely unhealthy habit. That's why you see, friends, people working in corporate companies, they will have a third eye. Means their belly button is also visible many times. It is so tight, their shirts and all that. So please pay attention. Eat only twice when hungry. Nothing in between except food, except water. will make you healthy. So we looked at how insulin sensitivity is achieved by eating only twice, nothing in between. So large number of hours you are giving rest, and or also you are taking fortnightly once fasting, and 7 hours night sleep will give you your calmness. Stress management, you need to learn things, friends. You can learn about inner engineering, Isha engineering, Sadhguru Jagis, Sadhguru Vasudev. You can attend their inner engineering program that would help you. And D and B12 vitamins, vitamin adequacy, you must check on that. So you can check what is your levels and make sure that whatever levels we mentioned, you maintain it, friends. Look at it, friend. This is what is called natural food. Look at the sprouts and then your fruits and all that. And here also a lot of fruits and cashews, and dates, coconut, and then this is soaked sesame seeds, all that. And you can have a simple meal like to chapati, lot of sabjis and curd and all. This is a cooked meal. You can have it, friends. Friend, these are the few people who have benefited by following this lifestyle wellness secrets daily schedule. I have two groups where there are about 450 people are there. I'm very passionate to guide people free of cost. I have done last 8 years research. This is me, friends. In 2014 Jan, I used to be like this with so many health problems. These are all this. Look at this, all red. All these parameters were out of range. Like my weight, 69 kg, waist size is 36, blood pressure was high. I was taking medication. I was taking 11 medicines, friends. And then fasting sugar, fasting insulin, HbA1c was 7.8. Lipid profile, D vitamin were low, B12 was low. All this I could clear in 4 months by following Dr. Mantina's natural lifestyle, friends. And now my parameters are like this. Last 8 years, I have not taken a single medicine. By and large, okay. But yes, I have little bit of HbA1c is higher. I'm working on that, and I'm 64 years. Friends, I'm not a doctor. My name is K.S.G. Rao. I retired as general manager in Escorts Limited after working 34 years. Last 8 years, I've spent substantial time. I've invested so much of time to learn and share. And whatever I learned in 8 years, you can learn in 2 days, friends. Please watch these videos in my YouTube channel and please share to your friends. Thank you very much for listening, and I wish you during this 8th International Yoga Day, pay attention, learn yoga, and also learn the fundamentals of health, friends. Thank you very much.